Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another round here in Prospects eRacing League. And tonight we're live for Tier 1, Round 11 at Brazil. Joining me in the commentary box, as always, is Luke. Good evening, Luke.
Good evening, Zippo. Good evening, everybody. Yes, we are back to bring you some more of that good old-fashioned fun Monday evening entertainment, live Tier 1 at Brazil. Can't lie, I love this track. I just love it. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
but
it's brilliant, and it flows.
It's just a perfect track.
Yeah, it's got everything in it. Those centre S's are beautiful. You can make or break a lap through centre S's. Just coming out of turn 1 into turn 2 can literally make or destroy your lap. There's a couple of other parts of this track as well. Don't quote me on the turn numbers, but it really throws you off. It's I don't know. It just has everything. I really like it. I don't have the right words to explain my love for this track. It's one of those historic tracks. It's a brilliant track. It's a wonderful track, and I can't wait to see these guys racing around here.
Yeah, and I mean the track is great. It's flowing, it's fast. You can overtake, which feels like is increasingly rare in F1 nowadays. I think most importantly, or most excitingly, is the fact is you can get rain at any point. It is very easy for it to be raining at one part of the track, not on the other. And I mean, it can just rain like that as well. We've seen many races in real life in the past be affected by rain. But yeah, no rain currently forecast, although it is very overcast over the Sao Paulo circuit.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you've just summed it up. It's very much like your Austria, and it's very much like Brazil when it comes to rain. It comes in very quickly, but it disappears very quickly as well. So, like when you're in Austria, just how quickly the rain comes in Austria. It comes in super quick. But it also can fade out very quickly as well. And Brazil is definitely one of those tracks.
Yeah. Oh dear, Pirates. Yeah, Pirates put it in the wall. Don't know what he was quite thinking there. Possibly just a lapse of concentration. But yeah, reminds me a lot of Spa as well, especially with the undulation up and down, up and down, up and down. And yeah, it's an amazing track. Hopefully we'll have some good racing. I mean, Tier 1 we usually have some quick, clean racing, so hopefully the lads and possibly ladies will put on a good show for us tonight here at Brazil. So we have Pera, who will be the first one now to start a lap after Pirate put it in the wall.
Yeah, I've noticed Troye is not racing tonight as well. Now, is that after he won his championship last week? He's chosen not to race this week.
Possibly. I mean, yeah, he's not racing. I'm trying to work out. Obviously, last week was obviously congratulations to Troy for winning his world championship, his driver championship, well deserved, absolutely rapid driver. But both Alpines are in this lobby or in this race. So although he may have given up the driver championship, of course, the constructors, as far as I can tell, is still up for grabs. So
yes, and Lima is now the driver going through as LZ Albo. No idea who LZ Albo is. Has just retired from the circuit. He's dropped it coming through sector 2.
Yeah, I think he's turn exit 4.5, I think. Yes. 4.5. Yeah. Troy has just joined the session, so
interesting.
maybe we spoke too soon. Yeah, that's possibly dropped it on the curve there as he left turn 4. We've got to be careful on the curves here, and track limits as well. Track limits will be something to look out for. A couple of places, especially the Center S's. Very easy to cut a bit or track extend a bit, and that's your lap ruined.
And that is Sohaib's out of the session as well. Lima goes quickest on 108.3. Guitarman Khan 108.7 there as well. Next up we've got Chappers, 108.5 for Chappers. Alex a 108.0, throwing that car up there on the provisional pole position. We know he's quick. As Troye, I don't think Troye can set a time, correct?
No, if he's taking control of his Alfa Romeo, then he should be able to. I don't see why he shouldn't be able to.
I'm not sure if is there not a rule that you can't. It's raining.
I was quite literally about to say. I was about to say a lot of people have gone out very early on in this session. Is there rain coming? And yes, there is obviously rain coming. Yeah, it's raining. So that explains why literally everyone and their mother has left the pit lane early on. So yeah, it's raining. So these laps are going to count because that could be it for qualifying.
It could be, yes.
I think, yeah, it is raining, and obviously we know how heavily the rain comes, how quick as Lima goes for a spin, he's on an in-lap, but Jesus, that was a spin and a half from the McLaren driver, so already it's treacherous. Coconut's coming up the line in the other Haas, what can he do? 9-2.
I mean, it's only marginally raining. It's so... Oh
Fine.
my God, Alex has almost gone into the back of the AlphaTauri. That's Guitar Man Khan. Did you see that?
I did see that. I was like, on the stream. Yeah, wow. Some people forgetting that although it is only qualifying, some do adhere to the pit lane entrance restrictions.
Yes, Mitwee goes third.
Spun again.
Mitwee goes third. We've got spins everywhere. Quasar's spun, I think. Or was that Anza? No, it was Anza.
I don't know if Anza's spanner went off the track because he saw POL Drunk Pirate have a spin. I don't know if he went off the track just to make sure he didn't tag the Fly driver and incur damage. Fly's still working that Monza livery. I thought they'd moved that to the game by now. But we do have the new McLaren livery coming in next week, so I'm sure they'll trade that out.
Oh, is it actually coming in?
Yeah, next Wednesday. So just after the session, after the season ends, because who doesn't want to see a pink McLaren? You know, who doesn't want to have a pink McLaren?
I don't know if I like it from this weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a massive fan of it, to be honest either. But the track looks like it's still currently just about dry enough to set some relatively quick laps, which I'm sure will be good for Pera, Quasar and Tintoretto, who are currently all on laps. Troy has retired in the pits, so I assume you are correct in your belief that you can't set a lap time after joining late.
I'm pretty certain that you can't, because I'm sure it's a rule. If you join late in the session, you have to retire because it can glitch out the clock for you alone. So it goes. So say for example, I joined now. There's 11 minutes 45 seconds available. That would reset me to 18 minutes.
Okay.
It was something that happened in the previous game, and I think admins of many leagues, my own included, are just taking that precaution to prevent that from happening, basically.
I see, okay. I never knew that. I didn't know that was a thing in this year's game. I mean, there are many things in this year's game that we don't know exist until that happens, but yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, that can be it for qualifying. Once Pilot finishes, well, a lap.
Yeah, Tintoretto's on his lap at the moment as well.
It's not really raining heavily enough. There's not really much standing water forming on. You start to see like damp.
This is what I'm saying. It's very fine, but it's showing just how much the track has changed because Tintoretto is 1.3 down on his time.
Yeah, he's not using ERS, so that could also be another reason as to why he's down so far. But yeah, Guitar Man can't switch to intermediate, so unless he plans to do some intermediate running, I mean, sorry, it doesn't even look wet enough for inters as Quasar. Oh, jeez, that's his front wing. Well, he's left it at the side of the track there. For the Brazilian marshals as a present, as Perez retired, so he doesn't think it's worth sticking out there anymore. Quasar trying to get back on track. But yeah, I think unless people want to do intermediate running and just practice, if it is a wet race, we don't know of course, I think that'll be it. Because, I mean, Mitri and Lima have come out again on soft, see if they can go again, but I
just don't see it improving.
I don't see it, yeah, no, either. The track doesn't look wet, but I mean, there's water now starting to form on sort of the halo that's sort of sitting there, which is sort of a sign, and the track's starting to look a little damp. So I don't think they can go for it, but I doubt we're going to improve the times really. I think this is going to be our grid more or less for the race. With Troy starting last, so that's going to be exciting. That's going to be exciting watching him carve his way through the field.
Yeah, definitely. It will be interesting because Troy has definitely got the pace to cut through the grid. So yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Absolutely. People are heading out.
Evening.
Tintoretto is heading out.
I don't know if you heard, Ellie, but the reason Troye did retire from the session was because of the potential timing glitch.
Just be safe.
Yeah, it is. It's a precaution, basically.
Yeah. Victory's 4 tenths down in the first sector. Lima is...
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think the rain does seem to be getting a little bit heavier. Still wouldn't say it's I don't think it's
not
intermediate. It's not intermediate. No, I mean DRS is still
no wet
enabled,
patches.
so
Yeah, exactly. And there's no wet patches. There's no sort of standing water. The track does look damp, but there's no like puddles. What you start seeing like little puddles around the track, that's what you know. There goes the unrest. So yeah, that is definitely going to be qualifying because even if you get the quickest lap in the world, but if you have DRS, you're not gonna improve on your current time. And that is basically it for qualifying, unless it dries up now, which I doubt. Don't see that again, but it gets wet and then dry again. Yeah, everyone's filing back into the pit lane.
we almost into the back of that Ferrari. I think that's Drunk Pirate.
Yep, Drunk Pirate retires. He said nope, no more. Coconuts is retired in the pit lane as well. I mean, unless people start going on intermediates for practice race runs, Cardi's given up. Yeah, we could have a very short qualifying. We could have a very short qualifying indeed, but Folksy's gone. Yeah, most people are basically going, yeah, no, we're not going to improve.
Into the race we go. I mean, it makes total sense. It does make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's kind of a waste of. I mean, if it's a dry race, it's kind of a waste of time getting wet weather practice in, right?
Absolutely.
If it's a dry race, let's just move on. It's not going to benefit anybody. Those that have set times of a 109 aren't going to improve that time on the inters. No. So, as I say that, we have an Alpha Tauri coming out.
It's Guitar Man Khan. He's gone out in intermediates. So, to be fair, I did this in my league race last week, much to the eye of the commentator for that race. I was the one toddling around on intermediates.
We've got a wet race, so it makes sense.
It makes sense. I drew the eye of the commentator in one of my leagues because I went out. Oh, as Guitar Man Khan doesn't even get out of the pit lane before putting it in the wall.
He has hit the wall, and that is disqualification. Oh, the race start is wet.
Ooh, okay. So this makes sense. This makes sense about people coming out on the inters. But as I was saying, I drew the eye of the commentators because I went out in Q2 on intermediates because Q3 was going to be wet. Everyone else had stopped because they'd set their laps in the dry. And I went, well, I'm in Q3, it's going to be wet. I'm going to keep going out because I want to practice.
Yeah, of course.
Why not? Alex got back out on slicks, so I don't think anyone's quite told him the memo that it's too wet for slicks. Basil's out on intermediates, makes sense, as is Lima. So we do have people coming out on intermediates. Guitar Man Khan's going to be... I mean, that's not fair on him. He did lose control of the car, and, I'm sure he was going to get out of the way as quick as he could. But the game has a zero tolerance policy. If you're in the way of the pit lane for more than 5 seconds, you're disqualified. And unfortunately, unfortunately, that's it. That'll be it.
That's Guitar Man Khan out of the session, and it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but he's going to be starting from the back of the grid. X-Coupe on inters. You said that there. Oh, yeah, Alex on the softs. I don't really understand that. I mean, he's done a 108.0. Is his main time.
It's not even using ERS, unless he's practicing for the dry part of the race, which is a bit stupid thing because you can now see the damp patches of the rain.
Yeah, interesting.
Not now he's using ERS.
Is he waiting? Is he seeing? So this brings the next question. Is the start of the race going to be these sorts of conditions? And if that's the case, could he start on the dry tyres in the race?
Possibly. It is entirely possible that the weather forecast says rain, and the ultimate conclusion is that it is raining, the track is wet, but the game goes, well, technically it's quicker to be on the dries. It's possible. I mean, maybe that's what Alex is banking on, just practicing what the car feels like in such conditions. And if so, that is smart. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But most other people have gone out on intermediates, so yeah, we've got some people practicing. Mitchell's pitted after on those softs, as is Alex. So whatever run he wanted to do, he's gone, I don't want to put this in the wall and lose pole position by crashing. So yeah, he's in the pits, and we'll just wait for the others as Equator's gone to full wets. I don't think it's quite that wet somehow.
That's quite bold, really, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Oh, his coupe rides the curb, and he's out. Ouch. Yeah, that's what you don't want to do. That, I mean, good to practice. Props to practice. That is not what you want to do.
I mean,
you wanna
you've got a question as well, haven't you? Was it really worth the gamble? Was it really worth the gamble going out when all it's done now is actually cause more when there is bugs during quali?
It shows quality weather put in base. Probably. Wouldn't put past the game to do that, to be honest.
We've seen elsewhere. I've seen full rain with sunshine.
Ah.
And that's a very interesting one.
F1 22.
Yeah,
get it from your local game provider now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It is. Guys, don't worry. F1 22 will be better.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be Codemasters and EA. It's got to be better.
It's going to be cool. I don't know how long Cody's have the rights for, but I can't imagine they'll give it up anytime soon. But it's the only game they make and they make money off of, because they don't release enough of frequently enough to make money.
Well, then they need to pull their fingers out, don't they, and actually make a game that's worth having, let's say. Because I think this game is by far the worst game that they've released for an F1 game, and I've not seen such a I've not seen such a downfall in league racing in the entire 10 years I've raced on F1. And
was even 2015 not that bad? Because 2015 for me at launch was like a steaming turd.
Yes.
F1 2015 at launch was just.
But I would even argue that this is no better than that. I never played 15.
But I think for 15 though, because 15 I think was the first time that the F1 game hit mainstream. The reason people bought it is because the bugs are part of the charm. It's quite funny watching you get passed by Lotus that had no wheels on the car. Like,
yeah.
Physically looked like it had no wheels.
Like
it's part of the charm.
Funny, but things that are game breaking and
Lima.
Yes, that is a great crash there from Lima. I mean, it's been an interesting qualifying session to say the least. But I mean, yeah, I just don't know. I just think this game has lost a lot of F1 drivers from the F1 game, and they've all gone over to ACC or iRacing or GT7, I think.
Yeah.
Because they just don't like this game. You know,
yeah.
And myself, I've closed one of my leagues down. I'm in the process of potentially closing the second part of my league down because the interest just isn't there.
Yeah. I mean, I've only raced in leagues really competitively since F1 2020, which was just a lockdown thing. 2020 and 2021 held.
Which round?
Yeah, he's kept it. He's might get reset to track being in the middle of the track, but he's kept it. F1 2020 to F1 2021, they kept races. Like, you know, I was still getting league races in sort of June of this year on F1 2021 that were basically 18, 19 drivers.
Yeah, because
there are 18 drivers in this lobby. Yeah, there's 18 drivers in this lobby. We can tell you now that 4 or 5 of them are reserved. If without reserves, it'd be like 12, 13 people.
Yeah.
There's just no interest. The league is great. The league is great. You know, it's well moderated, well policed. It's very professional, it's very clean. Just like I had a league race on Saturday. Yeah, I had a league race on Friday that completely went balls up because of lobby issues, and then people were having to be like safety car basically completely messed everyone up. I had to restart the whole lobby, and I couldn't rejoin because it's things like that. It's like, why bother? Why do we put our time forward to do things like this when we're going to get rewarded? The lobbies that we don't know if it's going to we don't even know if the race is going to start now. Like, we're going to cut away. There's a chance the race might not even start. The net code for this game, the lobbies are horrific. Like, every other game I have a bunch of other AAA online games. This is the only game I have where I have internet issues on this internet. All the other games I play, my ping is for the most part fine. Let's have it downloaded in the background.
I agree.
This game, I'm sitting here going, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to compete tonight because my internet's going to crash in the formation lap for some reason. Like, I don't know what the formation lap is. I don't know how they coded the formation lap, but for some reason, my Wi-Fi just shoots itself on, or the game server shoots itself on. You know, I missed out the race start at America last week because basically the game basically went, oh yeah, you have no Wi-Fi now. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, exactly. But that's qualifying over. Alex on pole position with Basil in second place, with Mitney third, Lima fourth, Carney fifth. Chappers up there in P6 again with Perra in 7th, Folksy 8th, Equator 9th and Tintoretto in 10th. X-Coop 11th, Anza 12th, Just Coconuts 13th, Drunk Pirate 14th, Soabe 15th, Albo in 16th, and Troye in 17th, with Guitarman Khan down there in 18th following that disqualification.
Yep, so Troy Guitar Man at the back, that could be exciting. Don't know what the weather could be because, well,
we think it's raining, but whether it's raining,
we'll wait and see.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll find out pretty quickly. Well, we should find out pretty quickly if this game doesn't throw a hissy fit, which that's quite frequently. Oh yeah, that's another thing that annoys me about this game. The crossplay. Why do they launch it? It is so bad.
Well, we've had to stop crossplay, and I think we're stopping crossplay here in the academy as well because it's just not viable. It took 20 minutes on Thursday to get people in the lobby.
One of my leagues is crossplay, which I raced on Saturday. I think I had about 30 FPS the whole race.
It's awful, and it looks dry to me.
It's not raining. Yeah, it's cloudy, but it's not raining, which is a start. It could rain later in the race, so that could be exciting. But yeah, but my race is running at 30 FPS. And also, the game just freezes. The game just suddenly freezes at points, which is great fun when you're going through the castle section of Baku, because suddenly the game freezes for about a second. Like, great. Anyway, we should probably stop rambling about the state of this game. I'm sure many of the viewers are well aware of the ongoing difficulties we have with this game and the long list of issues we have. But yeah, it's cloudy, so that could be rain, and we all love rain in this game. I lied, we probably don't, because, you know, it's probably going to cause a safety car, that's probably going to cause about 7,000 glitches. But apart from that, you know, good stuff, looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, in regards to the safety car, and again, the crossplay that is clearly broken, we had a crossplay race a while ago, and we all lined up on the grid, and it's 5 red lights, lights out, and away the safety car goes. Eh? Since when did we have a race start behind a safety car? It was absolutely crazy. So we had to restart the lobby. But that's only happened under crossplay. I mean, crossplay for an EA game. I mean, I'm going to mention it. FIFA has crossplay this year. Okay, and it works. It's so good. It's smooth. You can play with anybody, and there's no lag. In fact, I'd probably find it actually works better than same platform games in regards to latency and lag. Why could that not just be put over onto this game? Now, it's clearly a visual glitch. You know, it's clearly a visual glitch, but just stabilise it. They've had so many opportunities to stabilise it. They've had 4 patches out since crossplay was launched, and they still haven't stabilised it. And PS4 users have still got the sound glitch.
I haven't noticed that actually recently, but I do know of others that have had it on the PS4. But like, one of the issues is that obviously Codemasters announced we're having crossplay in F1 22. Everyone went, "Way, that's great," because you know crossplay would be a great addition to the F1 games. It brings people together.
100%.
They sourced out the crossplay, like the actual developing of it, to a
Ukrainian
developer, and then a pretty traumatic event happened starting in February that hasn't quite ended yet.
Yeah, of course they did. Yeah.
So instead of Codemasters going, you know what, we'll delay it and until it's actually fixed, they've basically gone, right, they can't really make it anymore. Fair enough, can't bloody blame them. We're just going to launch it, even though it's really not ready yet. I mean, I'd rather see them take out crossplay from this game and make it as good as FIFA for F1 23.
Correct.
I would much rather have that in the game.
I agree. I'd rather something that works because, in all fairness, crossplay for leagues is huge.
Absolutely.
If it works. It's game changing and potentially league saving. However, we'll discuss more of this during the safety car. We have got all the cars on the grid, all 18 cars. We have got some red lights, I believe.
I hear them on my controller. I don't see them, but I hear them.
Oh, yes, we do. We have 5 red lights. They're out, and we're racing here in Brazil for round number 11 of Prospects Tier 1. I tell you what, there was a Tintoretto jigging up and down on the grid there. I don't know if you saw the Mercedes porpoising standing still. It was incredible. But Troye up into 16th place already, into 15th place now. Anza and Joe's Coconuts changing positions, and that is X-Coop and Albo 13th and 14th. Aquaza and Basil. Aquaza up 3, Basil down 2.
Yep, as Tintoretto slightly pushed Chappers off the track.
Chappers is round.
Yes, you pushed slightly. Tim Twitter slightly outbroke himself going into turn 3.
Oh, we've got a
of
spin,
course.
and that is Sohei. Oh, and we've got
yeah,
another pin. That's Guitar Man Khan. That is both
Yeah.
AlphaTauri's having moments in the sector 2 and the opening lap of this Grand Prix as Equator going wheel to wheel with Mitwi, and this is for second and third place.
Oh, with Coconuts has gone as well. He's showing a good road side for good measure. Noting, we have been told it is going to be cloudy, rain, and then sunny, which I think is why half the grid have started on the softs. Because if it was a sunny or dry race, we would not have anyone starting on the softs unless they wanted to do two-stop.
Absolutely.
So we've got
it's a good
very
strategy.
wide mix. It's good strategy, but they need to hope the rain comes soon, the soft runners, because these softs will last about 7 or 8 laps.
Absolutely, yeah. And there goes Folksy round the outside of Lima into turn 1, which switches to the inside there for turn 2, and then he's cleared by turn 3 as Pera getting very close to Lima as well. And he switches to the inside, gets a very good run on him down into turn 4, off the track, over the curb, and that is Lima back round the outside through turn 5.
Yep. As Basil's been overtaken by Carney, has he? Basil thought about a switcheroo.
Are you getting some lag off of Basil? Because I'm getting a lot of lag off of Basil and Carney.
Yeah, Basil and Carney aren't great. Tintoretto is still porpoising, as Pera has spun.
Oh, Pera's round, yes.
Yeah, Pera's gone. Tintoretto is still porpoising on my screen, so at least
it's
they've
really bouncing, isn't it? But that's right. That's ride height. It's ride height causing that, which is quite interesting. The fact that they have managed to bring that into the game. But it's amazing how they can bring something like that into the game, but can't fix the sound much.
That's the time my camera spun, and you literally took the words out of my mouth. I was about to. Oh Jesus! I don't know if that was lag from Alex, but for the minute there. Okay, I'm lagging because on my screen there's somebody flying all over the shop. Okay. I was literally about. You took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say they can add porpoising, but they can't fix crossplay. But
I don't know if you've noticed as well. They can fix dirty parts on. They can put dirty parts of the car on as well. But if they go over the gravel, it gets dust over it. But here goes Troy up into 9th place, getting very racy here with the elbow contact. And that's elbow into the wall.
And it's Troy 8, and he's got no fucking.
And just Coconuts is out of the race. Safety car.
That's a pit and quit.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's a pit and quit from him. Could be a virtual steal for the Alfa Romeo missing the front wing. And also, is the elbow got? Did the elbow get damaged from that? Yes, he does. He's missing his front left end plate.
Drunk Pirates had a moment when he's round.
Yeah, a lot of people spinning. It's not even raining yet. This is what they're like under dry cold.
Anza's had a moment as well.
Yeah, Anza's. Yeah, he's spun as well. So
we had another spin. Oh, that's sector 1. Never mind.
Yeah, that's just.
And Anza's
Anza's gone again. Oh dear. That's why you don't want overheating soft tyres. Now,
Albo into the pits.
Yeah, Albo into the pits, which is going to be fun for Pera because he's got the pits, he's got no front wing. Troy's continued on with no front wing.
It's raining.
That's why he continued on despite having no front wing, because Pera has been acquitted. Jesus, got his yellow flags everywhere. Troy's still going forward with no front wing. I'm assuming he's waiting for it to get worse enough intermediates and then we'll change his front wing. Let's just want to drive around without a front wing. I assume he just wants to feel how a real F1 car or a real Alfa Romeo drive. But Alex kept the lead from Mitri despite starting on a harder compound. So it has paid off for the soft runners because the rain has come a lot earlier.
All over the place. I tell you what, I wonder if that's because it's raining. But Anza does not look very comfortable. I reckon he's got a wet setup on there. As Basil's round.
Oh yeah, I just caught the DRS has already been disabled.
That's how wet it's getting.
Alex is in. Alex is already in. The Quasar is in.
So Hape's round as well. Alex 5 seconds.
Alex gets 5 seconds. Ooh. Yeah, that's
Basil almost drives into the. Okay. Just Coconuts
this is a
orange rear wing.
This is a. Fair enough.
This is a huge gamble by Mitri and Carney.
It is. But there's already damp patches on the track. There's already bits of damp standing water.
Puddles, yeah, massive puddles.
As Guitar Man can't spy on a straight line. I don't know how he's quite able to do that, but Guitar Man can't. You watch, man. As Drunk Pirates gets 5 seconds, Troy is finally quitted to get rid of his broken front ring and going for the intermediates. Look at the conditions. I don't think this has been. Oh yeah, Mitri is sliding as if he has no grip, which he probably doesn't because I think it's too excellent. Let's see how much Alex gains on these two through the sets too. Gained a 10th. Yep, 10th. No. Okay, yeah, no, he's getting a 10th. Yeah. I don't think this has really been the right call, especially for Carney on those mediums, which will be a lot colder. Why is Basil on hards? Basil, I think Basil's read as Anza's nearly lost it again. Basil has, and there's a safety car. We finally have a safety car, which has probably saved Mitchell and Carney here. This has saved their bacon. They could still retain the lead here. They could pit and still come out in the lead of this race. I doubt it, because they lost a lot of time, but they could. We'll have to wait and see how this all goes. But we finally have a safety car on the track after about 7 crashes and about 30.
Yeah, it's taken a little bit too long, hasn't it, to get this full course safety car out. Perra out of the session, leaves the session, sorry. Anza on the soft tyres. I expect to see him boxing. Just look how wet it's got out there.
Basil's
Anza's round again.
Yeah, Basil's probably going, thank God there's a safety car, because he must have actually picked hard tyres. I think he's a little bit soon for the hards. Basil, watch out. But yeah, he's blasting around.
I mean, Alex has kept the lead, and Carney into 5th.
Yeah, and did the Quasar jump Mitchell? Yeah, he did, because Quasar was 3rd, because he was struggling behind Mitchell. So Mitchell has lost out here big time by staying out that extra lap, even with a safety car. Without a safety car, I dare think about. As Foxy had to pit for a new front wing, I believe. Coop is also in the... No? Oh, maybe that's Coop in the pits for a new front wing. Anza's got us speeding in the pit lane. So yeah, here's a heads up for any Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 drivers, Academy drivers racing later this week. Yeah, the pit lane here is pretty hard to slow down for, so just be very wary. Just be very wary of it's like Baku. Be very careful.
Yeah, Baku is a tricky one actually. I think America's quite difficult as well, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I agree. Or maybe it's very difficult because you just end up in a wall.
You do. So apparently 9 of the drivers today are Tier 2 drivers. Half the grid are Tier 2.
Yikes.
I mean, that's a bit crazy really, isn't it?
I think it speaks volumes. Just of how little people know about this game.
Yeah.
I since August, I have probably put more hours into F1 Manager than I have this game. And I race competitively in 3 leagues in this game, and I'd much rather play F1 Manager in practice for these races, for any league race. I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
We're
actually having an almost similar discussion in like my chat. Just how soul destroying and, as I said before, league destroying this game has been, and Cruz just said now there's going to be a massive shake up for the tiers next season.
Fair enough. I don't blame him, to be honest. And I think we can't just lay the blame on the state of the online play of this game. I think the handling system,
the handling model,
has to take.
I mean,
like, I know it wasn't popular when it first came out, this game, but I would rather have the handling model that this game launched with than what it has now. Like, yes, you would spin quite easily, but on this game, with this model, you're spinning just as easily because you get for some reason, you get all of your traction in 3rd or 4th gear. I'm not quite sure how it works.
I'll let you into a little bit of a system, an inside little thing. Okay, I went into this game no traction control. Crew, I'm with you. I am so with you on that.
The game is just not fun to play.
No, it's
that
not.
is the core issue. It is not fun to play.
I started this game with no traction control, and it was horrible. I moved that to medium because that's what I used to race with, and it was very meh. Towards the back end of my racing season, I've stopped racing now. I switched to full traction control, which is something that I've not done since 2017. And I was competing lap after lap with the quickest no traction drivers. I was 2 tenths behind them on full traction, mid automatic gears. on a controller.
Yeah.
They were on wheels, and we're not talking like thrust. They were on Fanatec DD Pros with no traction, ABS, you name it. I'm there on a £60 controller with full traction control, automatic gears, and I am pushing them around the track for the wins. That's how messed up this traction is in this game, it seems.
I mean, I have sort of juggled the idea of basically retiring from league racing for this year. I said, guys, in this lap, we will go racing again because I'm just not enjoying it.
I've stopped racing to good comms, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd much rather do comms for the leagues I'm in rather than actually racing them. It's just, Alex, gotta be careful there. Don't weave too hard. Yeah, I mean, I remember the days of 2020. Like, I love that game.
Agreed.
That game was so much fun. You know, I
mean,
mean,
with that in a minute.
Yeah, as Alex has gone away, Quasar has been not quite left in the mud, but he hasn't quite jumped on it. As they're still weaving down the start-finish rate. Careful, lads. I'd like to point out that Albo's on the full wets, so either he knows something we don't, or he's being very bold. As I think Folksy launched one on Chappers. As Mitchie's gone, Mitchie has had an issue of some sorts.
Yeah, he has. I'm just on board with Albo because this is going to be quite interesting actually, because they are not the tyre to be on.
Yeah, he does not have much confidence. The Thailand car and Coupe. The Coupe is backing down. I don't know why. Although the intermediate runners are still, I mean, Albo hasn't been completely and utterly dropped by the intermediate runners. I think he would have done.
Yeah, he's actually quite competitive, isn't he? I think, to be fair, it's more his hesitancy than it is. No, it's not even a word. He's more hesitant. Yeah, he's more hesitant on the curbs and stuff where the other drivers aren't. I think that's what's costing him the time. I reckon he may be onto something here because I'm just watching the timing screen.
I mean, he's
onto something.
He's past Coupe, and I mean, if the full wets weren't the tyre to be on, he would have been dropped by the field by now.
He's too hesitant. That's what probably. Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Maybe moving on. Folksy.
We did not play him at all. He was with Alba. As Mitri's trying to get past so high. Troy as well.
Quasar into the lead.
Oh, Troy's been cut off by his own teammate. Yeah, Quasar's into the lead, and Troy's been cut off by his own teammate.
Oh, jeez.
That's gonna make a fun debrief tonight in the Alfa Romeo camp. But yeah, Quasar has passed Alex, so Quasar feeling much more confident on these inters.
Yeah,
I mean, the rain is not.
It's wet though, isn't it?
It's wet, but I think it's still too dry for.
Yeah, it's wet. God, Basil, that is horrible. Yeah, Albo's nowhere now. It's a very interesting conversation going on, and it's very much the inconsistency or the inconsistent. How inconsistent? There we go. The traction is. So I mean, no TC is so inconsistent that you can take the same corner lap after lap after lap and have a different outcome each time. And Mitway's just been absolutely punted off track by Basil.
Oh, he has. He's going to be with his teammate again. I'm sure that'll fill Troy with joy after he got
I can imagine Troy's going to be passed much quicker this time. There we go. And then they're saying that the real life F1 drivers are saying that last game the medium was more realistic to no traction, and this game they've just completely killed it. As Sohaib and Folksy touch, and I tell you what, Sohaib gets through, lucky, because he was almost into a half spin as they made contact there with Folksy, and he's got Basil all over the back of him now, Folksy, and this is going to be a bit of a drag race. I mean, yeah, Folksy's still ahead. Coupe's retired. That could be a full cross. Yeah,
it is. Oh, he's binned it big time. That is fair enough. I don't blame him for that. That is a proper right in the middle of the track bin. I think the issue really is that this year's game is inconsistent with traction. Last year's game, it was the curbs. Like, you could take a curb at the same, like, you could hit the curbs at the same point every lap and nothing happened. And then one lap, it will just spin you and you're just gone. You're just off because of the curbing. This year, it's traction. And, you know, I know this isn't the most realistic simulator game. It's not iRacing, it's not Assetto Corsa, it's not, not even Project Cars. But the fact that to get a good drive out the last corner in Australia, you need to be in, like, 5th or 6th gear when you're accelerating. You're not going to see a real F1 car in 5th or 6th gear to try and get traction unless they're in the rain. Like, it's just insane to me that you have to get good traction without losing the rear end. You need to be in a much higher gear than you normally would be. And if you keep it in a lower gear, then you're going to have to lift off through the corner that is flat. Like, I think they've completely butchered how these cars respond, because, for example, Cops in a real life car this year is still flat. This year's game, there's no way on God's green earth you're going to get a car around Cops flat unless you want to track it then by country mile.
Yeah.
At some tracks they're massively quicker than real life cars. At other tracks they're massively slower. I know they don't have much data to go off of, but I just hope for next game's sake that they are a little bit more consistent. As Harvey's gone back onto the full wets, as his drunk pirate, he's gone onto the full wets now too. So as Anza has somehow put it in the wall on the safety car, he's done a George Russell. This game is just I mean, even like the way that the tyres worked before the patch, like the fact that the glitched version, where the tyres weren't responding properly in terms of tyre pressures, the fact that to me, I enjoy driving that more than the current state of it, says a lot. If your game is glitched and yet most of the fan base is enjoying the glitched state of it, then you've done goof. Like, these tyres are designed to be less like heat sensitive than last year's tyres, yet on this year's game they feel even more heat sensitive than last year's game. I don't get it, Cody. Like, we've known about these regulations for years. We've known about these tyres for years. How are you still messing up? The season is near its end. Like, we should have had some big like patch that addresses like car balance and car stuff. We haven't. They're just slapping in liveries now because, oh look, we got the Friday livery. Oh look, the McLaren livery. That ain't gonna fix the game. I'm not gonna come back to play F1 22 because I can look at a pink McLaren or a yellow Ferrari.
The thing is, though, is they Cruz just made a great thing. Yeah, front wing at release, you lost your wing and there was no effect. You could still you could lose your wing and still be just as quick. I mean, that's a simple coding, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, every time they patch something, they break something else.
Yeah.
This year, this year alone, I've beta tested the F1 game for the last 6 years, and this year I opted out purely because they just don't listen to the beta testers. They still release the game with the same bugs that the beta testers were reporting. What's the point in beta testing the game?
Yeah. I remember like 2016, 2017, they would invite a bunch of like F1 YouTubers out to the Codemasters HQ in like March to beta test the game, whether it be on controller, whether it be on wheel. You know, they'd have controller drivers and wheel drivers, and they'd invite a whole bunch of these people. You know, they'd vlog it and it'd be all funny. But like each and every person would then submit like a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-page report of what they liked, what they didn't like, what was needed fixing, what needed, you know, what was bugged and what wasn't. And that was in March. Like, they test it in March, so they have enough time to implement it come June, July, August. When did the beta come out? What? May, June? You're a month away from release. There's nothing meaningful you're going to be able to do in that period of time. It's just... I remember the F1 game used to come out in October. Like, the games come out in October, and at least then, I'd rather see it launch in August and be good, than launch in July and be bad.
Yeah, I remember, We're going to see another lap of safety car, and the rain doesn't look like it's easing up anywhere. I mean, to those of you watching at home, it seems like this is just a let's slag off the game stream, but it's not. It's just infuriating for myself as a league owner.
Everyone is the drivers.
The drivers, the commentary team, the people that, you know, are there that aren't even, and just general admins. You know, I mean, you get a lot of admins that don't even race, and leagues are suffering because of it.
They are. The whole player base is suffering because of it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Something is definitely amiss when the last few games they've had to delete all the time trial times due to a major handling remodel. That happened last year and this year.
Yeah, I remember last year's new handling model last year was terrible. Then it transpired that all the esports drivers had a different handling model altogether anyway.
Well, PSGL, isn't it? PSGL have closed down their top tier because their drivers have refused to run this version.
Yeah, because most of them are esports drivers and gone, what's the point of us driving this like version of the game, which is... The thing I have to laugh at is that even the esports version, there's still glitches you can blatantly see.
There is, but I tell you what, it will not feel good.
Oh,
I've driven on it, and wow, I'm far from an esports driver, but wow.
yeah.
Safety car in this lap, Equator leads.
Yeah.
And
I just want to put out... Yeah, so go on. You go first.
no, it's okay. You crack on. Equator's gone.
Well, it's just about the race. Albo pitted for new full wets. Pirate went for full wets, then back to inters, and then Anza went to inters and then back to full wets. So the Chappers has already been passed by Troye. So there is definitely confusion amongst the drivers as to which tyre is the best tyre.
Tim
Twitters gone. Yeah. So there's a lot of confusion amongst the drivers as to which tyre is the better race tyre. Because Pirate went on to full wets for a lap and went, you know what, man, I'm good, and went back to inters. Albo pitted for full wets, and Anza's coming to the pits for full wets. So,
this is something that I have noticed, not just this game, but a couple of games as well. And I don't think it's the game as such. The wet weather conditions. Oh, what the hell? That was a massive smash.
He hasn't got a front wing damage. I don't know how he's kept that going, but he would just speed straight across the track as Anza spun on those full wets. So, I mean, Albo's little kids.
You can see now that the who's that Anza on those wet tyres? He's just not there. Intermediates are the tyres to be on.
Once the inters warm up after the club period, I'm sure they'll drop Albo again. Because Albo again keeping up with the drunk Pirate quite. He's having to seesaw a bit of the wheel going down the long left hander, so even he's not fully confident with it all. But I mean, Quasar at the moment is just streaking away from Alex. I mean, it may be over for him, but he's going. I mean, at this rate, it's going to be folks. Oh no, is that for new front wing or is that full wets?
Which has just released Troye into P7.
Yeah, it has.
Chappers,
those look like full wets.
Very close together as well.
They are. He's going for full wets. Okay, hello. Even Folksy now is going for full wets. The rain is definitely increasing in intensity as Qatar Khan has found the wall. And again, leaving another front wing for the Martians. Thank you, gift. I think what's going to happen, because we know from the weather report before the race that it was going to be cloudy, rainy, sunny. What the Inter drivers may be trying to do at this point is basically go, we know it's going to dry up, as who's that? Oh, Anza's lost it. Oh, wow. Anza had a Max Verstappen moment there as he went horribly off the track, but kept it going. Perhaps maybe the Inters may not work for a couple of laps from this point onwards, but I think they're going to try and hold out until it dries up again. Whereas those on the full wets have gone, right, we may only have the full wets for a few laps. But
can we make up the ground? Yeah, I mean, Folks is...
Yeah. And he's got...
Yeah, they're not the tyre to be on. It's gone again, they're not the tyre to be on. Then again, everyone seems to be struggling in the wet conditions, even on the intermediates, apart from Equator.
Yeah, Equator's just gone checked out. He's gone, you know what, guys? I bet you Equator's at
Tier 2, though, was he?
No, Equator's Tier 1,
Tier 1, is he?
I swear he was. Yeah, he was, because he was one that was mathematically to the chance of the type, I swear. Last week. Hold on a sec, lads, while we just quickly work out what the.
Yeah,
he is, yeah. Because he was running second. I'm sure he would have loved last week's race to be this week's race, because he is absolutely gone. You know what, guys? He has checked out by
Chappers, Folksy, Sohaib, Albo, Coop, Guitar, Anza, Pera, and Just Coconuts, Tier 2.
Yeah, so looking at the website, which I believe is probably updated, Quasar is currently second ahead of Robbie, and Robbie is not racing. So, looks like he's going to keep second in the drivers.
Oh yeah, against Total Carney getting very close together, and that is Anza, I think, at the moment again.
It is.
On those wet tyres, yeah, the wets. I mean, Albo's still there though.
Yeah, Albo is keeping up with I mean, even with Chappers and Pirate both tier 2 drivers. I think Albo's generally probably going to be tier 1-ish pace. But
Pirate's tier 1.
Yeah,
Pirate is tier 1.
Yeah, Pirate. Yeah, I just scrolled down. He's like, yeah, he's there. He's at the bottom of the. Not the bad way, obviously, but he's at the bottom of the drivers' championship.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Pirate? He's saying
yeah.
So Pirate is reigning tier 2 champion.
Ah, that's why you did one. Fair enough. Fair enough. So in the constructors, Alpine are currently behind. Are currently what's that, 32. Yeah, 32 points behind Alfa Romeo. So Alfa Romeo need to make sure that the gap is more than 45 points. Because we get a point past that, which they're 45 points clear after this race. But as it stands, I mean, yes, Troy is 7th, but I mean, Carney's
Basil
6th.
sent it. Basil sent it down the inside, and they're locking wheels
Ooh.
at the moment.
Yeah, that's a sidepod, sticky sidepod. As can't be careful not to take these two up, but Quasar's currently winning, and Carney's 6th. So as things stand, Alpine look like they're going to push the constructor championship to the last race.
Which is brilliant.
Belgium, isn't it? Belgium is the last
Belgium
race
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Ooh, that's great. I like that. I love
It's going to be wet.
Probably is, yeah. So if it is wet, I'm sure Quasar would be quickly kicking himself, not keeping the driver's championship alive for longer. But I mean, Troy's been on something this year, so
Troy is brilliant. And proving again tonight just how good he is.
Yeah, absolutely is. Albo's being. I was watching Albo go up the hill there, and he was he was on the edge going up that hill.
Yeah, he's been dropped.
Yeah, I think that the gamble on full wet, he's
So high, he saved it.
Oh, he saved it. Oh. Yeah, the gamble full wet, I don't think it's worked. But the Inter's putting out things to do. I think, what, 14 laps? That's pretty long on the set of intermediates, especially this track, which is relatively high.
It doesn't look like it's going to be. It doesn't look like it's easing up anytime soon either, does it?
No. Which could ponder a question, of course, for those later in the races. Should it dry up, which we have been told it might, what do you go on to? If it's late in the race, you know, will we get like 4 or 5 laps on the softs? Or
Basil sent one down on his teammate.
He has, and he's as Lima has backed out of that one. I was going to say, Lima's got a very nice yellow and blue helmet there. Very Ayrton Senna-esque, I must say, it's quite nice. Basil, on the other hand, has got the fish helmet from the podium pass, and he shall be shunned accordingly.
Basil is flying, yeah. I think his lag's helping him teleport through the field.
his legs. There
it goes again.
The fish helmet is what's giving him. You know, he's got a fish helmet, so he's like a fish in water. He's flying, but he does have 3 seconds of penalties. So yeah. So Chappers has been passed by Albo. Don't know how he's done that because Albo was 1 second behind at one point, but I guess Chappers had a bad moment. They're also careful, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's so tentative, isn't it? Like,
it is. As Anza's one to Mitri. How's Mitri down in 13th, and Anza's just passed him?
Yeah, Mitri had Mitri had that offer, didn't he?
Oh yeah, of course he did. Yeah. As Folksy picks up 3 seconds.
Albo all over the back of Drunk Pirate here. Are these wet tyres starting to come into play?
Possibly. I mean,
even Anza's closing in on Tintoretto.
Yeah, Albo was obviously about a second behind Chappers, and now he's 1.2, 1.3 clear of the Hash driver. So maybe in sector 2 at least, these wets are starting to come alive a little bit at least. Oh, jeez, he's not going to be feeling it after that. Yeah, curbs in the wet I'm not that stressed really. As Alex being passed by Basil, my man, what are you on? He is just gone. He's using that fish helmet. He's using his fishy powers.
Here comes Alex though. Alex is coming back at him into turn 1. Is he going to go around it outside? No.
He backs out. As Troye is pitted. Troye could be pitting for full wets here. Troye may be rolling the dice on a set of those blue full wets. Basil is just...
He's gone.
He must be... I assume he's using some sort of wet setup.
Wets.
Troye has gone full... Oh, jeez. He's liking so much.
Who is?
Troye, I don't know if that's just because it's a pit lane exit, but he appeared to like leave his pit box and enter his pit box.
Yeah, that's the pit. Yeah, it does that.
And yeah, so people are pitting for the full wets. Interesting. Now, will the rain intensify and will it make the full wets come alive, or will it calm down? Because we were told before the race it will dry off, but will it get wetter before it gets dry?
Closing in on Closer here.
He is. I'm assuming Basil must be using some sort of wet setup. Or maybe he just loves the wet. Who knows? But I mean, he is absolutely flying. He's dumped Alex.
He's taken a second out of Equator.
Yeah, he has it
in half a lap.
Maybe it is full wet. Oh, but he just gained 4 tenths going up the hill.
Traction hats? Question mark.
I mean,
He's lost time in a straight line. He's definitely got a cornering setup on for sure. He's not got the pace in a straight line.
so 2 seconds. Now he's going 2/10 through the centre S's, 3/10, 4/10. So he's basically through the corners and the straights is a bit roped, but on the traction out of the corner is minted for him.
Yeah,
He's just
if
getting
you
so
look
much
at
better
him
traction.
going through sector 2, right? Sector 2 is very windy. He closes.
Yeah.
He then loses that time down the main straight and the back straight.
So that makes me think he's running a very high downforce setup.
That's
Therefore,
what
he's
I'm saying.
yeah.
Look,
yeah,
right, it's
yeah.
1.3 now. Okay, watch it as it
1.2.
comes out at the end. Right, watch the time coming down here, and then watch him coming down the straight.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching Quasar it was about 90% traction as he went under the Rolex sign. Basil was basically full traction by the time he got to the Rolex sign, so he's just using.
Now,
maybe he's just got.
now watch him down the straight once it gets going. He loses time. He probably won't lose time this time.
No, because he's right over the back of the Alpine driver. Literally picks up 3 seconds.
There we go. See?
Yeah.
Look at the difference.
Basil's hitting 186 miles an hour. That is he's running basically a maxed out downforce setup. So I think
Yes.
maximum you do at Hungary is 181, 182.
Yes.
So Basil's basically running akin to a max setup where Quasar was doing 196 down start finish straight. So that makes me think as they get very close that basically Basil is running a wet setup effectively.
So he's got the corner in, which is definite. Yeah, exactly. Good match. Yeah, that's what I've been observing for the last couple of laps. Through sector 2, he's mighty. Sector 1 and sector 3. Now look, now he's got it because he's going into sector 2. He's got the advantage over Equator.
Yeah, it's crucially in the rain. You need less wind to pass. Is he going to go for a lunge? He is. Quasar sees him coming, goes, gives him the room.
This is great battle. This is brilliant.
This is.
Oh, that's contact.
Was it? I didn't see anything on my screen.
I'm sure he's just come across the front there.
Oh, the yellow flag. The guitar man can't put it in the wall again. He's about to get lapped. But the issue is that without DRS, he's not going to get past Quasar because he just won't have the straight line speed to pass him.
No,
Like
Quasar's got a full battery almost as well.
yeah. I mean, props to Quasar to be able to. There we go, dicks.
Yeah. So he's got to go in sector 2. The 2 braking zones in sector 2. He's got to take the lunge down the inside there in sector 2 to make this move stick. He's got the run, but he hasn't got the pace. He hasn't got the speed.
It's about the straight line speed because Quasar's just going to streak ahead at the crucial point. You need overspeed at the end of the straight. It's great if you have more speed in the middle of the straight, but Quasar's just going to dump the battery and disappear.
So as we go up here,
even here we
turn 6. Turn 7, he's got to make a move, or turn 10. 7 and
I think
10.
Out of this hairpin, it's his best chance. I know he did the last lap. He had a bit of a moment, but I mean, he gets so much better traction here. So this is a move. This could be it. This could be it.
Down the inside, he's got to go for it, and he's done it.
He's
not. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. I think he's got it this time.
And he'll be able to hold it around the corner because he has more. But
he hasn't got the straight line speed to keep it.
Quasar's about to blast past him down the start finish straight as if he's taking candy from a baby. I mean, yeah, look, okay. Basil's had a great exit.
He's got a brilliant exit. I think he's done it.
He's done it.
He's done it.
I think he has done it. I bet even with that straight line speed, he's not gonna.
He's not got it. Oh, I don't know.
Oh my god! Oh, Jesus God! The overspeed is insane. While we've been talking about this, a lot more people are pitted for full wets. Troy A full wet, Tintoretto, Alex recently pitted, Chappers, Mitri. So
yeah, he's brilliant now. He's done it now. He's done it now.
It's so funny watching Quasar just bomb onto the back. Got so much. So Basil basically now needs to hope that it doesn't dry up, because if it does dry up, then a Quasar is going to be going thank you very much, because he can afford the less wing in a dry race.
Absolutely.
Dry air race.
Yeah. To be fair play to Basil though. He's done really well.
He has, and I mean,
got a yellow flag. Is that Lima? No. Yes.
No. Yes.
It was Lima.
It was Lima. If you watch Anza here on the back of Drunk Private on the full wets, this will be a good tell to show he's not really closing up.
Albo P3.
I've been saying P3, everyone else ahead of him to pick the full wets.
Yeah, but the wets are still keeping him there. I mean, I
True.
don't see this drying out. 11 laps to go. I can't see any form of this drying up.
Very true.
If it dries up, it could be the last couple of laps.
It could be decides whoever someone gambles to go to wets or to slick tyres and then go from there. I think if you keep an eye on the gap from Albo to a Quasar as they go down the start finish straight, I think we'll get a good telling by the end of the lap. So it's 8.1 say at the end of the start of this lap. So it's at the end of this lap if he's gained or lost or kept it the same. If he's gained, then the full wets. If he kept it the same or even if he kept it the same, well you can gain 2 tenths. Maybe not. If he kept it the same, then you could also make an argument for full wets. I think it's down to driver preference. If you prefer full wets, but we'll have to wait and see. But he's definitely dropping lead lane full far behind Albo.
And he's gained 2 tenths at the moment.
Oh yeah, he's just about gained 2 tenths. It's not really enough to justify the pit lane time.
Basil's already cleared of that penalty that he's got. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but in sector 2, it's getting a bit brighter.
It is, and it does feel like the rain slightly eased.
It's spitting now, as opposed to coming down. If that makes sense. It's more of a spit now, isn't it? It's more of a very gentle, light rain than it is. It was like 2 or 3 laps ago. But
Albo's gained about half a second this lap, or even 6 tenths.
I mean, Arrows, that's a really good question. He's asking, will the Inters need to box even if it's wet still? Huh? Here's a question for you. Will the Inters need to box even if it's wet still?
I think what we're trying to say is will the Inters need to pit due to tyre wear?
I
don't think so.
Tintoretto is one.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think they're going to be in a very healthy position at the moment, to be honest.
No, and Carman can't put 13 seconds. I mean, Albo has gained 7 tenths in the last lap and lap and a quarter, lap and a third. But it's not really the rate that you'd expect from a driver. If it was sort of, as Tintoretto's pitted already, I know he had a front wing. Okay, he's going back onto the full wets, so that's a sign that he thinks it's still wet. I mean, sure, Albo is gaining on Quasar by 6-7 tenths a lap, but Basil's jumping the Quasar by about 2 seconds a lap. So it's all good if Albo gets past the Quasar, but I don't think he's really going to catch Basil, is he? But I mean,
just wonder, is
Troy gets past Anza?
Troy's not had. I think his call to the wets was wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think the wets have benefited at all by going to wets. Basil's just had a big moment going through turn 2. He had to really lift off the throttle there because I don't know if you can hear it, but you can hear the car revving out.
Oh yeah, wheel spin. I mean, Albo hasn't really gained much in this lap. He's gaining through the corners. He's taking too much curb. Pivot on Carney. Ooh. Carney's keeping it there. He's keeping it in 7th. Troy has closed in a little bit on these two, but I think that could be because they're fighting more than natural. Now Albo's starting to lose time. Look, he's gone from 7.3 to 7.7.
Yeah. It's drying up now. The wets are.
It's drying. It's starting to dry up, and I think the wet's going to start overheating. But I mean, the top two will be on 30 plus lap old intermediates if it stays wet to the end, or basically on 30 lap old intermediates. So even if Anza has to pit for he's going to have to look. He's lost 6 tenths in this lap alone. To
Quasar. 5 seconds speed in the pit lane penalty.
Tintoretto's come back in for Inters, I assume. Yes, he has enemy from him, but he's come back to Inters. So, I mean, if I was Albo, I'd be pitting for intermediates right now because he just lost a second to a Quasar on that lap. Yes, you can have bad laps.
Yeah, you need to be, don't you? And let's see what he does now. He's going down the straight and he stays out.
No, he stays out. Troy has caught up to Pirate and Carney, so he has caught up on those full wets, but I don't think that's going to particularly last.
Battle's closing in on Folksy here to lap him as well. Also, Quasar is now starting to close.
Yep, as it dries up, Basil's setup's going to start becoming more of a help and less of a help and more of a hindrance as Anza in the pits for the intermediates and a new front wing. So people are starting to ditch the full wet tyres now. So the gamble, I mean, Troy's just lost another second. He's losing time hand over fist. He might as well pit for Inters because I think Lima's going to be on him if he's not careful. Yeah, Lima's just going 2 tenths through one corner as that is Anza, who has spun in the pit lane. No, he hasn't. He was just in the pits. How's he gone to the track? Oh, he spun the game to put it back on the track. Thank you very much. Yeah, yeah. Lima's catching Albo hand over fist. Surely Albo has to pit.
Dropped massively again now.
Yeah. Surely Albo has to pit. Oh yeah, Albo has to pit. Surely he just had a massive slide around the last couple of corner. As soon as that off, that is victory.
On the wets.
Albo, come on. Unless if it does dry out, they're going to try and hold out for splits, but he'll be eaten alive by Lima. So high and far behind Lima, and Pirate and Kari aren't really that far behind them.
Yeah, he's staying out, isn't he? Any other wet drivers? What are you doing? Troye staying out. Alex.
Oh yeah, staying out.
Staying out. Chappers.
Chappers is losing time to Anza, and Anza's just pitted. So surely Chappers has got to think about pitting. Oh, nope. I've got a feeling these wet runners I think are going to be very... I think Mitchell might pit because he had a spin which has to be about 3,000 degrees centigrade. Does he have a front wing? He does have a full front wing, so he doesn't need to pit for a new front. Oh, I see that in the wall. That was Anza. Anza's lost it. I don't know how.
Intermediates.
Troy's now being dropped by Carney and Drunk Pirate.
Yeah, they have.
So it is intermediate time.
Look,
now,
4 seconds, Albo's lost.
Yeah. Lima's all over him, and Sohai isn't far behind Lima, so you can see the Aston Martin on board with the McLaren. You can see him just in the distance. Well, not in the distance anymore, he's right there.
6 laps to go. I don't think it's going to be slicks. We're not going to see slicks again this race.
I don't think so either. I doubt we are, but I think that if the intermediate runners have any sense of semblance, when you know, I mean, maybe Troy and Alex and Chaps don't need to pit because, well, if they pit, they're going to lose this. I mean, not even really, because Anza's like 20 seconds off, so I would pit. Just, oh no, they're all staying out. Because once those full wet side overheating.
Yeah, they're definitely overheating. I mean, Basil 6.4 now. When I said he was closing, he's now no longer closing. Sohai all over the back of Lima. Lima getting very close to the back of Albo, into the second lap now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't think we're going to see slicks again this race, but I mean, look at that. He's just halved his time, and I think this is going to be the equivalent of taking candy from a baby, or for Max Verstappen taking the lead from any other driver, because he's just, look at that, he's lost it nearly of his own accord. And Lima and so I go, thank you very much, Albo.
2 places in one corner, as Carney getting very close to the back of Drunk Pirate, and I tell you what, 1.4 now is Drunk Pirate to Albo.
Yeah.
Albo's in a huge mistake. Equator 7.5 seconds behind Basil now.
Yeah, even Anza is catching. He's 20 seconds. He's now 18.9 off Chapper. So it is intermediate weather, but are the hard runs, well, full wet runs basically gone. Well, if we pit now, we're not going to make up the 20 plus seconds in the pit lane now. But look, it's basically sunny. The sun's starting to crack through on the start finish straight.
That's a good smash. That's going to be a safety
Oh, that could be a safety car. That could save the wet runners. That could save the wet runners.
And it is going to save the wet runners.
Yep, in they all come. Now this is exciting because we know Basil has no straight line speed. So I want to see how he does this restart.
I reckon he's going to box for new. He's going to box for new Inters, isn't he?
I think Equator will be wise to box for new Inters because I don't think, well, you wouldn't lose position to Lima. Lima's too far back.
Yeah.
Troy's on softs. What?
Oh, interesting. I think that's a mistake. What? I reckon he's forgotten to change.
No, so is Alex.
Yeah, but I reckon they've got it set for their next pit stop, which was meant to have been in the dry, and they've forgotten to change it.
See what Chappers does. Intermediates for Chappers. Anza trundling down the pit lane now. What's he going to go on to?
Basil stays out.
Basil stays out. What's that? Oh yeah, okay. Basil stays out because he's
Quasar's in.
Quasar is in now. What does he go into? That could be very important. because if Basil won't catch the safety car for a while, so the Delta won't lift for a while. Everyone else comes to the...
now.
Yeah, so Quasar's going to come out, should come out well clear of Lima, and so hey pits. So Lima is going to come out. Quasar's going to come out ahead of Lima, not by much, but he's going to do it.
We've got Folksy in P2 here, but obviously a lap down.
Yeah, that could be an issue. Everyone else going to so I assume Troy and Alex are just assuming that by the time the safety car pits, the rain will be stopped, but that doesn't stop the track from being wet still.
I genuinely think they've boxed. They've had their pit stop set up ready for the rain drying. And
yeah.
This is crazy. Alex
Either they're going to get
one.
Either they're going to get one lap of like wet dry right at the end, but I mean, even if they do, they're not going to have a fun time. It's still raining. That's the issue. It's still raining, and the track still looks wet.
The track is very wet.
So I think that's going to be an issue for Quasar as lap cars between him and Basil, and obviously the series isn't realistic enough to allow lap cars to pass. It's like Michael Matthews.
There are a lot of cars in between him and Basil. Look at the state of that.
Yeah.
I mean, the fortunate thing.
I mean,
is that Alex? No, is that Anza? Yeah, Anza's just driven into the back of someone and lost his front wing.
Well, that should get him out of the way then of the leaders. Yeah, Anza gets 5 seconds for ignoring a yellow flag. I assume that's due to Retro. No, can't make these in the pits. Ha!
Guitar Man can't.
Yeah. I can't. Well, I mean, if these guys would be nice to get out of the way of the leaders, that'd be lovely, because Quasar's 3 seconds back and he can't do much about it.
You can go off track and allow these cars through.
You can do, yeah. If you go off the track and slow right down, you'll let the cars through. Or the Codemaster could be good, add a feature where they can.
I think it should be a setting where in lobby settings, as a host, you can decide.
Alex is pitted again.
Do you allow safety lap cars to unlap themselves? Yes or no?
Well, I think Michael Matthews should have picked no last year, but that's just. And Alex is pitted for.
It's interesting.
Intermediate.
I think that actually brings up quite an interesting topic, to be honest. Safety
Oh
car
god!
is
Oh god! Don't bring up Abu Dhabi last year. You will have a full exposure.
I'm bringing it up to an extent. Was Massey really the problem? From what we've seen this season, was it really Massey?
I think it was F1 the issue.
Over to chat. Let's see what chat thinks.
I think F1 was the issue because they'd hyped up this epic championship fight. Oh, it's an epic championship fight, and then you full well that they'd have massive TV ratings, and now they couldn't afford to have a race that starts in the finish on the safety car, because that would be a real. As Mitch was sitting into the wall by Folksy. But crucially, all these lap cars have got out of the way or have ghosted, and the Quasar's on 27 laps fresher, intermediates, and he's all over the back of Basil.
This is race on now, isn't it?
Basil's got a 3-second penalty, so I mean, he needs to have like the last couple of laps of like his life, but the track is drying. I don't think he's going to do it. I mean, I think even without the penalty, he won't do it, as that is Anza out of the race. As Troy's still taking on those soft tyres, he's still going with it. Props to him. He's still trying it.
It's crazy if you ask me.
He's not getting any time on drunk private head, but I mean, he's not losing time to chat, isn't he? As let's set to Basil has obviously. Oh, Basil's gone! Oh, he just about gets ahead of a Quasar, but crucially, a Quasar's about to blast past him down the start-finish straight. I don't think Basil's going to have much able to do.
No, he's not.
The final lap of the race. Here we go. It's like taking candy from a baby, and it's gone.
Yeah.
He should have pitted for New Inters. I think even a Quasar would have pitted, even if Basil, if Basil had pitted, I think a Quasar would have followed him in anyway.
Yeah, I do as well.
Oh, and Carney's gone for the spin. Carney's gone for the old spinneroo.
So's Lima.
So has Lima, yeah. And has it stopped training? It has stopped training. So this is what Troy was banking on. This is what Troy was banking on. The fact it is now stopped raining.
But on the final lap as well, I mean, that's just unfortunate. There goes Sohaib on Drunk Pirate. This is for the final podium position here.
Top Drunk Pirate for getting in the first place. I mean, GG, man. The 22 lap on.
Sohaib chucks it down the inside. Oh, some contact there.
There is. Basil's trying to keep up with the Quasar, but I don't think there's going to be much he can do. I think Quasar's good, well, definitely going to be able to hold it. But he'll keep second at least, so I think that'll be some. Unfortunately for Basil, because he had annihilated everyone else. But,
yeah, he has, yeah. But here comes the Quasar round the final couple of corners, let's say. It's the long swoop in now, down towards the line. He is going to see the checkered flag and he is going to take the race win here in Brazil. As he does do that, and Basil will keep second place, and Sohaib will keep the third place from Drunk Pirate. Drunk Pirate finishes fourth place, Total Funny will finish fifth. We've got Patarman Khan finished down there in 10th, Tintoretto in 11th. Lima will come home to take P6.
Troy will. Lima's got 3 seconds, so Troy will take 6th.
Yes.
Oh, this crashed over the line. Oh, no, it's something. DMS was enabled, so it would have been dry enough, but the track was too. The track was the race was too short.
Wow. Here comes Alex to come home to be the final. Oh, Pirate will keep P3 rolling because he's a full-time Tier 2 driver.
Yeah. Yeah, he will. Well, congratulations then to him.
Yes. I was actually a decent race to
it was. The ending of it was that safety car. Really
much more enjoyable than my previous earlier on comms.
Oh, what a race! That was exciting.
It was a brilliant race.
I think, even without 3 seconds, Basil wouldn't have kept it. I mean, he was close. He had a very good exit out the final corner, but obviously the straight line speed of the Alpine blasted the head anyway.
So congratulations to everybody on the podiums.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to all that finished as well, because that was a difficult race, I think.
So yeah, over to you. I'll let you run through the final.
Thank you. So it is a Quasar who takes victory for Alpine today, beating out Basil by 3.4 seconds. Obviously, Basil with a 3-second time penalty. So he rounds out the podium, but obviously he is a full-time driver reserving, so he will keep it. Drunk Pirate takes home, I expect to be third place, so a solid podium for him. Carney comes home at 5th. Troy does a very excellent drive from 17th to 6th. Lima comes home 7th. Chappers 8th. Alex 9th. And Guitarman Khan rounds out your top 10. Tintoretto, Folksy and Mitri all saw the checkered flag. Anza did not, but he's still classified because he crashed late enough to be able to be classified. And Albo, Coop, Pera and Coconuts all did not finish the race. So that is your full rundown. And excitingly, Alpine have closed the gap to Alfa Romeo in the Constructors' Championship. So we will have
we will be
Constructors
going to
decided.
Final race, definitely.
Yeah, so Belgium will decide the Constructors, which means you've got to try and work out, well, not me, because I'm a commentator, but Andy's got to work out who needs to score what to keep for Alfa Romeo to keep the championship. But I think that's 8 points compared to 35, so that's a 27-point swing. So that basically puts 5 points between them as they go into Belgium.
Wow, that's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, guys, that's been a brilliant race. The rain really mixed up the race tonight, and Basil unfortunate not to take the victory. The 3 seconds may or may not have, hindered his race, but to be honest, Quasar's pace was just something else, wasn't it, in a straight line. But yeah, don't forget, guys, tomorrow night it is Feldman and Artistic for Tier 2. Wednesday night is going to be Solid Elite and Artistic. Thursday, Academy with myself, and then Tier 4 with me and the man in 8th place, Chappers, for Thursday. Thanks very much for tuning in and watching this evening, and hope to see you guys all next week for Tier 1's season finale Constructors Championship decider. But yeah, wherever you are in the world watching, stay safe, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. I've been Zippo.
And I've been Luke. Good evening, everyone, and good night.
See you later, guys.